Okay guys, this is a HP Pavilion 15P series. It's one of those Beats audio laptops, and what I'm going to be doing is changing out the hard drive in this. Make sure that you have yourself some tools, and I have that. Mine are magnetic tip, and I'm going to get to it. Now, the way to get inside this laptop is on the bottom. Some laptops are easier than others to get into, and some just, it's going to be aggravating. Let's see, 1, 2, oh yeah, you have to remove the battery and set it to the side. I'm going to set it to the side, and it's going to reveal some screws you have to take out there too. First, I'm going to take out the screws that are visible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's going to be 10 screws that I'm going to take out. And in this particular laptop, it comes apart like one puzzle piece, because once it comes off, then you're going to use kind of like a plastic spudger to separate it from the keyboard. Now, a thing you want to do before doing this, there is a program in there called HP Recovery or HP Backup program, and you want to make your system recovery disk. Either from, mine gave me an option to make it onto DVDs or a USB thumb drive. I have a lot of thumb drives, so I went ahead and made it onto a thumb drive. So the entire operating system is on this one thumb drive, and it's going to be able to make a partition too on the new hard drive. So that's what happens in case of hard drive failure. There is a little tiny plastic piece like right here, and it's located right here on the bottom. Make sure you get that screw, because there's a screw under there, and if you don't get it, once you do get pretty far, it won't let the bottom come off or the top come off, and you'll think you've got every screw when there's really that one there left. So don't forget that one. And also make sure you back up any personalized data, like files that you've put on there, because it's going to make it like factory condition, like when you got it from the factory. Like any pictures that you've taken, or any presentations or Word documents that you've made, it's going to be all wiped clean. So, you know, if you have another thumb drive or an external hard drive, or heck, you can even upload it into the cloud. There's so many cloud services these days, you know, like Google Drive. You know, Google Drive is an example of a good free one. Amazon has a pretty good one now. Microsoft has OneDrive. Now I'm going to check these, make sure that these are out. Now, first thing I want to do is take out this optical drive, which just means DVD burner in this case. I'm going to set it to the side, and I'm going to look here underneath where the battery was. Here is a screw right here. So there's 11 screws there. Now, let me see here. Let me see if there's any more. Now let me get a spudger. Okay, now the next step is you'll see these two rubber feet right here that holds the laptop up. Well, surprise, there are some screws hidden under those. Now you want to be careful when taking these off. By being careful, I mean you're going to have to kind of pry them off, and you know, there's going to be glue underneath. If you can pry them off, or you can leave some of the glue, like right here, see there's the glue from the factory, then you're going to want to do that. These two screws have to come off in order to take the laptop the rest of the way off. Again, I'm going to try to show you what they look like. If you can see that right there, and then if you can see that right there. And this was where the one screw was that I took out, where the battery was. Now these are the screws that I have to take apart where the optical drive was. I've already took this one out, but there's 3 altogether. There's one right here and one right here. So once you get the rubber feet off, there's a screw underneath. You take that screw off, and then you just pull up, and it takes this little piece off right here. You lay those to the side, and I'm going to do the same for the other side. Take that screw off, lay that to the side, and then you take the little piece, the leg is what I call it, and it just comes right off just like that. Then you put it to the side. Now I'm going to take these off where the optical drive was. And you may need a different bit size to do this, but it's still just a Phillips screw. Still trying to find just the right Phillips head. Okay, I've got that second screw out of there. Now I'm going to turn the laptop back over. And usually you can go at this thing from any side, but I'm going to try to go at it from this upper left corner. No reason really. No reason or rhyme in particular. Just that that's where I'm going to try to go from it at. And a lot of people who work on cell phones too, like I do, you may be able to get in, like use like those guitar picks that they send you to get underneath of the phones. See, look, you can start to get underneath this laptop, and you use a plastic spudger. Don't use anything metal. Metal will break this. And you go around the laptop like so. And see, and that's prying the top of it up. And you do that all the way around. Just like I told you, it's not really one of those completely easy ones where you can just take out the hard drive caddy. Although I wish it was. So now once we go here, you'll see under here the hard drive's already starting to move underneath. It's kind of really hard to see, but there's these little clips underneath there. Let's see if I can kind of show you. I'm going to unplug those flex cables, starting from the left, which is the keyboard, the middle, which is the touchpad, the mouse, and then the hard drive, and then I'm going to keep going from there. So I'm going to do that now. There's also one near the top up here, which is for the power button. And once that's done, this top will come off. And then underneath it will look like this. Now, if you have one of the laptops where you need to replace the heatsink, because that is infamous in these laptops, if your laptop is overheating, then it's 2 screws or 3 screws. You can take this motherboard off and you can turn it upside down, and then you can replace this heatsink and it'll work fine. But what I'm replacing is the hard drive, which sits right here in this little plastic area. And you can see it's a very proprietary, meaning it's its own little hookup. I lifted up the cable, and you'll see. Let me move that out of the way of the light. You see, this doesn't really have a caddy or anything. It's just its own little proprietary connector, and it looks like that. And what you do, you just pull it off of your old hard drive, the one that it came with, which is 1 terabyte, and it's went bad. So then I have the piece that I need to hook up to my new hard drive that I'm going to put in there. Now let me get that hard drive. Now you'll want to line it up. It'll only go one way, this adapter will. It plugs right into it. And then you want to put it down into the space where the hard drive goes. And then you can use tweezers, or if you have fingernails, you can do that too. Make sure you're careful when you lift these little tabs up, because they have a little swinging door, and you do not want to break those. Once that's in place, you push that little door down so it can get the connections. Once you're in here, if there's any excessive amount of dirt, you can clean that up. If there's not, then you can go ahead and put the top back on it, and it's as simple as that. It's a little different than other laptops, yes, but that's just the way this one is. So you start connecting these connectors back up. First, we're going to connect the power button, and you're going to have some odd angles here, but you want to make sure that it goes back into place, that you can actually see it. These stretch cables go back into place. I'm going to hook up the keyboard now. Trust me, you want to do this the first time, because you don't want to have to take this apart a second or a third time. You want to get it done. Okay, then I'm going to hook up the touchpad. Okay, fill that in there, and just kind of looking at it to make sure all of them are hooked up, as you can see there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to push up here, and you push down like you're snapping a puzzle back together. This all just snaps back into place, almost like if you were working on a phone. You can hear that snap, and don't do it too hard. And then you have that all back together. Then I turn this back upside down. But before you put the optical drive back in, you want to put these back in here. And that's what I'm going to do. Then once you get those back in, you'll put your optical drive in. And then the one that has the picture of a disc right here, that is the one that holds the optical drive in, and that is the glue you want to put in. That's how I do it anyway. And then remember the other screws that were right here, and even the hidden one over here. That means there'll be 10 more. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those 10 screws in. Let me make sure that all these are in here. One more up here. The upper right hand corner. And let's not forget the one where by the battery compartment near the middle. It goes in right here. Now you can choose to put this back on or not. This little sticker, you remember the little sticker that went over to hide that one screw, the factory hides? You can put that back on the bottom if you want. I guess I'll go ahead and put it back on. Just don't forget when you're disassembling it, when you're taking this laptop apart, that there's a screw under there. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take these little feet, and they have these little tabs on them. I'm going to try to see if you can see them. These little tabs right here, they're going to like clip up underneath first. You just put this here where those little tabs are, and it just kind of slides right on. And you want to do that for each side of the laptop. Then you take the silver screws, which that is what's under these, and you'll go ahead and put the screws back in. And you'll see over here, I'm going to do the same for this one. Now, if you did not leave any of the sticky residue, then you're going to have to find you some kind of glue. I wouldn't use super glue, but a different kind of adhesive or glue. But this is the part where you put the feet back on. I have plenty of sticky residue left, so you put that rubber foot back on, and you do the same for the other side. It is time to put the battery back in. Remember, you want to kind of tilt it down backwards first so that it goes in easy, and it just, listen to the click, just like that, clicks in. And I'm gonna power it on, make sure the power button works and everything, and it's ready to be reprogrammed. And then I'm just booting from the USB thumb drive, and it is repartitioning and reformatting the laptop, and that's all there is to it. I'm going to have a good hard drive, and we're going to be back up and running in no time. Yes, pending all the Windows updates, but that's how you do it.